Well, hello, everybody. Do you ever sometimes feel like the world has gone mad? It hasn't. It's okay. You know what? It's Friday. We're not going to gaslight you. The world has gone mad. Yes, you are right. Your instincts are correct. But we're going to provide you with 90 minutes of joy and fun and happiness, an island of joy in a sea of tumult. Is tumult a word? Like tumultuous?
Tumult,
I don't know.
Tumult is a word.
What a relief.
Awesome.
So obviously everybody in the news, we've got Star Trek Prodigy in the news, big news. We'll cover that. Also, everybody wants to talk about, the Golden State Warriors trading Jordan Poole over to the Washington Wizards for a 38-year-old Chris. Well, we'll talk about that later.
Wow.
It's big news. Lots to talk about. Anyway, everybody, let's just get to it. We have a very special guest today. You know him as Linus, as well as tons of other sci-fi aliens, especially the ones in Star Trek. You even know him all of a sudden as this character. Wait a second. This guy, who's this beautiful hunk?
Yeah. Love it.
Love it.
In
Love Telluride.
Star Trek Strange New World, Season 2, Episode 2, which just dropped. It is the gorgeous and effervescent David Benjamin Tomlinson.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Welcome.
welcome.
Thanks so much for having me.
John Orchiola, of course, of Screen Rant is here. He's also effervescent.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
Wearing his Prodigy sweater. Favorite than I got my Prodigy sweater and I was going to put it on but I was like, oh my God, it's too freaking hot. I can't do it.
Yeah, I know, but we're in mourning. We're in mourning. It's a sad day.
Evening here. Also gorgeous. We're just going to keep using effervescent and gorgeous. Andre Kottman is here all the way from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hello, everybody. Live long and prosper.
And Melissa's all the good adjectives you can think of. Melissa Longo's here.
Waiting for she's only somewhat effervescent. She's only
these
mildly.
4 bubbles.
She's only mildly tolerable.
My name is Ryan T. Huskin. Nobody has ever used the word bubble when describing me.
Well, now you've given me a new goal.
Thank you.
Goal. Next time I see you.
Yeah.
Hey, Bubble.
No bubbles on this guy. But maybe I don't even. Yeah.
Oh, no.
David, I swear it's not usually like this.
Say that every episode.
That's true. Anyway, so everybody in the live chat, we see you. Thank you for joining. Let us know what you are drinking today as we get into it. Oh, David, what are you drinking today? And what did you drink today?
Earlier today, I enjoyed some margaritas. I am currently drinking water and cranberry, which is my current go-to for summer hydration.
What about you, Mr. Orchiola, aka Back of the Head?
I am drinking orange bubbly sparkling water.
And yourself,
It's very
Andre Kottman?
effervescent.
Thank you. You nailed it. He knows the word.
I replicated some mango juice and rum.
Ooh.
Yeah, kicking off my Friday right. Yeah.
Melissa, beat that.
Well, it's some pink drink. It's actually elderberry with elderberry max fizzy drink mix with vitamin C. So it's hydrating and nourishing and all that jazz. And delicious in a Quarks glass.
That's right. Quarks Enterprises. Okay, Scott Jensen the 13th, shout out to him. He says, you make our hearts bubble, Ryan. Our guts, at least.
What?
I think that's a bubble guts joke. Rico gets it.
Yeah.
Hey, Rico.
Oh, anyway, so I'm drinking a White Claw every week or every day this week to test out all the flavors so we know which kind of White Claws to bring with us to Star Trek Las Vegas. And this week I'm drinking Tropical Pomelo Smasher.
Smash it.
Oh, wow.
Very refreshing. That's effervescent. Anyway, David, enough wasting time. Let's please talk about you.
Oh, okay.
We loved you in Star Trek Discovery.
Mhm.
We're hoping to see more of you, more appearances by you in Star Trek Discovery.
Mhm.
But you also popped up in Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and you're the second person in a row to do so. This happened in subsequent weeks. Also, Hannah Spear played the Klingon Lady Jen in episode 1 of season 2. Season 2. Is this like just a thing that they're doing where they're just grabbing all of the incredible talent from Discovery and being like, get over here?
I don't know what the thinking is. I mean, I had to audition. They auditioned me for the role. Like they put out a call and I put an audition on tape. And I think the fact that they have my face cast, I think is a big advantage. But it wasn't something where it's like, oh, please come over and do this thing. It was just like, oh, there's an audition call went out. I submitted on it. They wanted to see, and then I got it, which was super fun. And it was like very exciting to be going to see, like, I felt like I was going to go see the cousins, right? Like I'm going to go see extended family. It was amazing.
Mhm. Yeah. It's a good description, the cousins, because you guys split right off from you. I love that.
Mhm.
And do
And
the cousins
there's a lot
get
of people.
along?
Yeah. Oh, the cousins get along.
And it's not really
I
cousins.
want to go to the cookout.
And that was I'm super excited always to put on a new face, right? Like putting on a new face is always a treat because you never know.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
What's the difference between playing a Tellarite as opposed to a Saurian?
Well, I took a lot from the mask of the Tellarite. There was, because I knew he was a judge, so there was a real air of dignity around him, and his face, he seemed really aged. So I went more for an attitude of like that sort of a regal bearing that Linus would never embody. Like sort of that was sort of the place that I worked from, where Linus is a lot more animated and reachy, and this guy, he's a finger tapper. He finger tapped a lot. I remember it's just all behavioral for me. The weight of the mask, and
that comes across on screen too, because the way Linus carries himself, I had to look in the credits to find out who the Tellarite was, because you did so well of differentiating between Linus and that character.
Oh,
you could see careful contemplation and deliberation in his face, and then really just soaking in the words of the lawyer. Like it really attributed to the emotion. Like I know this is getting through to the judges, but they can't tell you it's getting through. And it was great.
Well, and I'll tell you something also. Sitting at that desk, watching those performances, like there was little acting necessary, because the performances on the day on set were unbelievable.
I know, that's right.
Unbelievable. I felt like I was watching the best courtroom drama, because they were doing long takes.
Yes.
They were letting the actors go through their entire speeches, and I would sit there absolutely mesmerized and watching them lay down take after take. Just genius. Like it was brilliant. So I am 100% enraptured, because I was 100% enraptured. It just made my job so easy to sit and observe what they were doing, because it was like, this is the best courtroom drama I've ever seen right now.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
David, did you can you tell us your first impressions when you walked on the set of Strange New Worlds? Because you've been on Discovery tons and tons of times, different characters, different days, different seasons. And then that first day on Strange New Worlds, was there a different, did it feel super different, or did it feel close? Was it exciting?
Well, yeah, because it was exciting, but also like I know my way around the Pinewood stages, and I know where all of the places are and where to go. And then suddenly on my first day, when I went in for my first wardrobe check, I was just like, oh, I I got lost. I didn't know. I couldn't find where I was going. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm a total turbo lift moment. I was very much, I was like, oh, this is a whole new, it's completely different, the setup. And when we did the camera test, and just like marveling at all of the stages as I walked past them and looking at all of the incredible sets. So it was like this thrill of, oh, this is a very different experience. It's similar in a lot of ways because it's track and there's extended family there. So I would say it was exciting, and I felt overwhelmed and confused, but then delighted. And yeah, it was great, and everyone incredibly nice again. So it made everything easy.
Awesome. Andre, I couldn't help but notice when how much your eyes lit up when David said it's fun to put on a different face. Andre and I are Geminis, so there's nothing we like better than putting on different faces. Let me tell you. Yeah. Gemini season just ended though, sadly. So
May
party's
Gemini,
over.
June Gemini. Yeah. Shenanigans.
I get you.
Yeah.
Oh, shenanigans is right.
Well, is there anything, and maybe there isn't anything you can tell us, but is there anything you could tell us about any future appearances, by David Benjamin Tomlinson in Strange New Worlds, in Discovery, anywhere else?
That is it for season 2 for Strange New Worlds for me. It was I popped in to do that piece. There will be more Linus in season 5 of Discovery.
Awesome.
And that's going to start airing in the new year, and I'm super excited to see it. It's going to be I'm excited to see it for a number of reasons. Obviously, because it's the goodbye, but it's also like a super exciting season, and I can't wait to see how it all gets put together.
Thank goodness we're going to see some Linus.
Yeah.
Well, Linus already lives in our hearts, even if it's just for the season. We love him.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
How does it feel playing like in a brand new era of Star Trek? I think what you guys are doing in 3189 and 3190 was amazing. And the whole bit with Linus getting like messed up with the transporters, like I laughed so hard watching that as the crew kind of acclimated to the future. It was the perfect tie-in.
I thought it was a genius stroke by the writers to do that, because I feel like we all want our science fiction heroes to effortlessly adapt to technology and change.
Yep.
But I think, like, as a human being, if there's an app update or there's something, oh, now you have to do this when you sign into this thing, sometimes I don't get it on the first try. And so I love that they were telling that story, and there was that representation of, we don't all get it on the first try. But having said that, you keep trying until you do get it, and then you figure it out. And there's nothing wrong with not getting it right away. And so for me, that was incredibly freeing to play, because I am, there'll be such change to a thing, and I'll be like, I don't know, what am I doing? So anyway, yeah, I loved that storyline. And in my mind, he gets to where he's going because he keeps trying. He keeps going. He doesn't swear off the transporter. He's like, no, I made a mistake, and I'm going to figure out, what's next. And so I love that. And I thought it was brilliant to put that in there to remind us all that sometimes it's not effortless, making those kinds of adjustments.
We've got a really good question. Sorry, go ahead, Andre.
I was gonna say, and he didn't materialize into a wall, which was good. So
no, so he is the basics. He's the basics down, right? Like, just
we do have a really good question in the live chat from Scott Jensen. He asked David, what would be your dream role without makeup?
Oh,
it's a really good question.
He asked the tough ones. That's why we don't have him on the show. He's a hard ass.
It's good. It's hard. Admittedly, so 5 years of this prosthetic journey, and my head is so much in prosthetics, and I immediately go into what a dream. Like, I think playing a big bad super villainous character would be super crazy prosthetic, would be super exciting. But just for me, real face, I don't know. My agent wants me to think about this a lot, actually. She's very eager for me to be like, We need to get your face out there. It's a good question. I don't know. I would say it would be great to do something different than I have been doing in the prosthetic. So I don't know. Can I think on it? Can I think on this question?
I could definitely
I'll
see you
email you
in
later.
drama though, just like a straight up drama, showing off
I
your
do
acting
drama.
chops, showing off your perfect face. Like just
I was gonna
right?
say it's a good
Perfect
face
face.
too. So I agree
Yes.
with your agent. We should see your
Okay.
face more.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd say go for something dramatic, like something acty, but with funny moments, because I do like the funny moments.
I like that you said real face. Like you just walk around and set like, look at all you real faces. Like, just kind of hang out. Like, look at these real faces over here.
Sometimes it feels like that, like sometimes it feels like you're the alien and they're the human real faces, and that's why Doug and I hang out so much when we're on set together, because it's like we're in our club and they're the real face club.
The Doug Jones.
The real face club.
The Doug Jones.
They're on their
by the
phones
way.
and they're laughing and they're eating, and we're sitting there and we can't be on our phones, and we're just we sit together. It's great.
Do you feel like
Great.
you just are working so much that you guys never have any chance to relax?
When
Oh,
no,
that's amazing.
Right.
That's amazing.
I think that John set me up for John sent that in.
Yeah.
Oh, is that from Melanie's?
Yes,
is
from
that
Melanie.
I know that picture was taken because I was falling asleep, because they're long days, and that is I'm gonna
Super
have to
long days.
Yeah, where
In
I'm gonna need to get
prosthetics? Yeah, that's
yeah. That was, but
it's
then
my
I was
favorite
talking
picture.
to
Oh,
that's
great.
pretty great. I need to find that. How do I what account was that? I need to follow it.
It's on her Instagram.
Okay, great. I remember there was a lot of talk about the prosthetics on the day, but like Rebecca was right there. And I'm like, as long as this process is, when Rebecca was playing Mystique in the X-Men films, like that was I think like a 10-hour process. So I have like nothing I have nothing to talk about. Like Rebecca, and Rebecca talked a bunch about her experience with that process, and having to go in like a good 10 hours before that. Like that's unbelievable to me. Like what an incredible process. So that we had some great we connected over that, but that's a great picture. Holy mackerel. Okay.
Good find, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor Rebecca had makeup in places. I didn't know we had places for that thing for 10.
Oh, makeup and
The
paint
whole suit.
Yeah,
that was
it looked sensational. Like the makeup was incredible, but
I think
so
I
nice to
interrupted
see
you,
her
John.
on
Were you saying something?
Oh,
You have a
no,
question?
not at all.
Oh, okay.
No.
Great. Dr. Muhammad Noor is in the live chat.
Yay.
And he says,
Hello.
he says, quote, I just finished rewatching the most recent Strange New Worlds episode with my son, and he was really excited when I told him the Tellarite was the same actor as Linus in Discovery. He loves Linus, as do we all.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And lastly, there was one more question here from Glenn Iverson, and we kind of covered this a little bit, but he said he's asking what it's like getting into the mindset of this new character versus getting into the character of Linus. Is this something you're preparing as you're sitting watching the layers of makeup being put on you? You're kind of getting into it.
Well, I think, yeah, like you're getting into that mindset, but then as the mask assembles on your face, like I find that it affects my energy and how I'm feeling, and then you sink into that sort of direction. So it's a very different experience than the Linus makeup, and you have all of these wrinkles and that weight on your face, and it's the bushy hair and the teeth, and like it's you follow the mask.
Mm-hmm.
The mask will take you where you need to go.
I have a question. You talked about they already had your basic face mask on file. What was the process for that? Getting that?
Like in my life cast?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was amazing. I grew up loving like practical effects and makeup effects, and I would always go to the end of like the VHS tapes that I'd rent from the video store of the horror movies that I loved, and always watch the actors getting head casted, and was like, oh, that would be so neat. And when it was my turn, I was very I was like, oh, because I can be a little claustrophobic in places, and I didn't know how it was going to go. And the team were amazing, unbelievably amazing. They explained the whole process. They sat me down, they started applying the layers. We had a hand system workout, like if there was a problem, it was this, and everything, it was okay, it was this. And I think this goes towards like how comfortable I am in a prosthetic. When everything was on and it started to heat up and sort of set, I fell asleep. I just was so calm and comforting. I fell asleep. So then I just kind of pitched over in the chair, and then there was all of these hands like writing me up. And are you okay? Are you okay? And I was just like, everything's fine, because you can't talk or make a noise. So, and then at the end they pulled it off, and they were like, and I said, yeah, I fell asleep. I just zoned out. It was a very peaceful feeling. So it was a much more relaxing, comforting process than I didn't know what to expect, but I was delighted that I was so comfortable. And I think they were amazing. And I just think, again, there's something about that works with me. I don't know.
And
So
are there? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, go ahead. My question is about hands. So a lot of fans were super excited to see you had the Telluride had 3 fingers. So like me and a bunch of other fans, we
this
noticed
guy.
Totally. He brings me on when he wants like savant level trick knowledge. So
Yeah.
So there's not many Tellurides with 3 fingers. Like, did you? It was great to see you have the gloves on. Were those comfortable? Did they mention it to you?
They didn't mention it to me, but when I went in for the makeup test, that's when I found out that I had these very porcine hands, and it had the 3. I think I ended up going in like this. And then once you figure that out, I think you just, your hand figures that out and you find your comfort. It wasn't painful and by any stretch of the imagination. It was just, my fingers are all sort of grouped together like this.
That's so cool.
It was a cool detail.
Yeah.
I loved playing with them.
Yeah.
That could be the title of his memoir. The Telluride had 3 fingers.
Or you could just say like porcine hands. I love that.
So
They
David,
looked gorgeous.
We know you got to roll out in just a minute here, but before you go, I can't believe I didn't start with this, but our good friend named Andre Kottman sent this in, and it is a tweet from Jorg Hillebrand, who shows this still frame from the recent episode, which is awesome. And you said you've already seen this, right?
Yeah, that was at the back of the behind the lawyers on the set of the where the trial was happening.
There's a line. That's Linus right there. That's a Sauron.
Yeah.
There's no 2 ways about it. And a
Sauron
Zaranite
ancestor. Yeah. That the set dressing was so incredible. Those murals were beautiful. I'm glad that you caught that. I didn't because I can't have my phone on set for any number of reasons, but mostly my hands. I didn't have a way to record it, so I'm glad that exists, because I was so excited to see that. I always love a good little Saurian representation.
Absolutely.
Well, David, thanks so much for hanging out with us. It's tons of fun, super exciting and cool to see you being in more than one show and kind of like leapfrogging into the next. Looking forward to hearing your voice in Lower Decks and in Prodigy season 2. Can't wait to see you in Star Trek Legacy and the Section 31 movie as well.
I'll do it all.
Captain Linus, it's coming.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
All right. Yeah, I would be curious to know what would happen when Linus, if he got a captaincy, what that would look like. I think that would be very cool.
Awesome.
Thank you all for having me.
We really appreciate you, David. Thank you so much.
I appreciate all the Linus love, and you're always so lovely. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a good rest of your night.
Right. And everybody at home, it's at Dav Ben Tom. It's the first 3 letters of every name he's got that we know of. DAVBENTOM. Maybe there are other names in there somewhere, but at Dav Ben Tom, check it out and support all of his goodies. Can't wait to see you again, David, and everything you do.
Can't wait to see you all. Have a gorgeous evening.
Yes.
Enjoy
Thank
your
you.
night.
Thank you.
Bye, David. Great to meet you.
Thank you.
Take
Great
care.
to meet you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. John Orchiola right now is thinking, this guy's gonna make a great interview when I interview him. He's gonna give me some good stuff.
The wheels are turning. Yeah.
What a lovely fella, though. He's
Ugh.
so lovely.
How lovely is he?
So very much.
So, all right. Everybody at home, look, what do you guys want to talk about next? Do you want to talk about Star Trek Prodigy or NBA trades?
Prodigy.
What do you?
Prodigy.
What's an
or-
NBA?
Or maybe John
I don't
wants
know
to
her.
talk about the new wrestling AEW game that's coming out soon, right?
Yeah, AEW Fight Forever comes out June 28th, I think. It looks pretty rad, dude.
Yep. So, boy, everybody, maybe it's time for a poll. I'll go ahead and get a poll going. While I'm doing that, Andre, would you please tell us all why you loved Linus so much from the very beginning?
I have wanted to see a Saurian on screen since forever. So the fact that they included one on screen was amazing. And then just the way Linus is just kind of goofy and so smart, it's just adorable. And I'm obsessed with Linus. So just great to see a Saurian. And I just love the way he's played. And I want to see more of an alien as a feature on Discovery. I've just been a fan since the beginning.
Wait, is he the first Saurian on screen?
Second, there was one in Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and we have not seen
I
one
thought so.
since
Yeah.
then. Yep.
I thought so. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yep, definitely. I was like, oh, finally, all these years. And the way they updated the makeup and then just have them like, the universal translator messing up. It's just perfect Trek tidbits that are just so needed. It's great.
Okay, so we've got a poll in the live chat right now. And the question is, what's next? No, actually, the question is, was next. I forgot the T there.
What's next?
But what's next? But the options are Prodigy news, get serious. That's what it says. AEW wrestling game or NBA trades. Wow, NBA trades is actually getting a little traction here. You
Yeah,
guys
I
are
feel
crazy.
obligated to vote for the wrestling game, even though I don't even want to talk about it really. But
Yeah, I don't know anything about it either. I just figured you might. All right, so I think we're just going to go ahead and jump into the AEW wrestling game. Just kidding. People are about to leave right now. Like our numbers are going to plummet. Okay. Prodigy. That's it. 3% of you voted for the AEW wrestling game. 17% said NBA trades, my kind of people. And 79% said, dude, seriously, what am I doing here? Talk about Prodigy. This is the real deal. So let's do that. A few hours ago, we heard the news that Prodigy has been canceled. We don't know necessarily what exactly that means, what exactly that looks like. We're all livid and we're all weepy-eyed. However, I don't think not all hope is lost, I don't think. So let's wait to see how things settle out before we know how to react to it. Thank goodness we've got John Orchiola here to tell us what we know so far. What's going on?
okay, so Star Trek Prodigy, as far as I've gleaned through the trades and also just asking around, Star Trek Prodigy is canceled at Paramount Plus. And what that means is season 2, which is still in production, is not going to air. Oh, sorry, you don't say that anymore. It's not going to stream on Paramount Plus. The show is done there. Further, I believe
season two will not stream
on Paramount Plus. No.
Wow, and it's almost done.
It's almost done. Yeah. And making matters worse, insult to injury, they're removing season 1 from Paramount Plus, I believe on Tuesday.
What?
So you only have a few.
So
You only
weird.
have a few,
Yeah.
and then it's gone. And so you
Will
only
it
have a
be
few
on
days left.
Nickelodeon? Is this
No,
thing going to stream
It
on
will not be on
Nickelodeon?
Nickelodeon.
What?
So season 2 will be completed, but it
Yes.
has nowhere to go.
Right.
Makes
they're
no
gonna-
sense.
That's so
I
weird.
know.
Let's
I
put
know.
it on
No
this
sense to
YouTube
me.
channel. Put it on this
Right?
YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the idea is CBS Studios is going to shop Star Trek Prodigy to another streaming service. If that happens, the hope is that the new streaming service, the new home for Star Trek Prodigy, will stream season 2 as well as season 1. But for now, the show is canceled, except for the fact that they're still going to complete season 2.
I wonder if viewership went up exponentially, that would change things a bit, because Prodigy is
Yep.
too good to not exist in anywhere. It's too good to not exist anywhere. And for us not to see season 2, that is,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
with it being a
I'm
Star Trek
baffled.
IP, I'm so confused as to why Paramount Plus isn't able to display it. Like, I'm hoping the lawyers or contract people are working like, we got to keep this on Paramount Plus. And I'm seeing fan reactions on Twitter. People are like, what's going on? So
Mhm.
Right.
Yep.
Because right now, the big boast Paramount Plus had was that the entire Star Trek franchise was under the
Yeah.
same corporate umbrella. But now,
Right.
except for Star Trek Prodigy. And, and let's say Prodigy does find a new streaming home. Let's say Hulu picks it up, or Netflix, or something else, Tubi even, picks it up. Suddenly, it's the first Star Trek show since Discovery relaunched the franchise in 2017 that's not on Paramount Plus. And what does that mean in terms of how it's treated within the franchise? Like, are they going to be invited to Star Trek Day, which is a Paramount Plus production? There's all these weird things that kind of crop up now because of what happened to Prodigy. It just doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
Do you think it's because, and obviously we don't know most of the details here, do you think we, the fans, failed Prodigy? Do you think that Prodigy just had much less viewership than the other shows because a lot of the fans were like, I'm not going to watch it, it's a kid's show, and never actually gave it the chance?
I would not blame the fans. I would blame the fact
I
that
would.
I would blame the fact that the entire industry is rapidly changing, and not for the better. Every streaming service is cutting content, like deleting content that's already been produced, deleting content that was announced, that was in production, that is now gone. Max is doing it. Hulu, Disney Plus, Netflix, tons of shows are just vanishing, and with no outlet to be streamed elsewhere. And so Paramount Plus obviously is reacting to the changes in the industry. And Prodigy is just one of 4 other shows that was cut today. And then a few months ago, Paramount Plus also cut a few other shows like the Twilight Zone. I think that's the Jordan Peele version. So yeah.
What were the other shows that got cut today? Because I know the Star Trek fans like myself, we didn't even look at the other.
We're like,
I don't care. We knocked all those
Yeah.
down. We're like, what?
Yeah.
Grease was one of them.
Yeah, the 4
Rise
shows
of
were
the
Grease,
Pink Ladies.
Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies, correct. The Game, which I don't know what that is, and Queen of the Universe, which I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Game, is that the Ace of Spades? It's another wrestling reference.
Oh,
That's
could be you mean Triple H, the Game,
yeah.
the Cerebral Assassin.
Motorhead does the songs for him.
Yeah.
Well, that's
so it's really disheartening all around. Like there's not a whole lot of positive way to spin it, except for the fact that it's quite possible they will be able to find a new home for Star Trek Prodigy. But there's no timetable for it. Who knows when it could happen? The plan of season 2 premiering in the fall of 2023, that's probably shot. Who knows when and if it could stream. And the worst case scenario is if they're not able to find a home for Prodigy, that's it. It's gone. Like we may never see season 2.
That's
wow. I didn't even think there would be a possibility of not seeing. I thought they were saying like after season 2, it's like, and I don't understand how this. I don't understand how this kind of stuff works too well. And John, hopefully you can shine a little light on this subject, but like, what's the harm in showing it on Paramount Plus? Does it cost them a lot of money to stream it?
I do not know how the finances of streaming work. I just don't. I don't know. I've never understood why, let's say, like WB a few months ago canceled the Batgirl movie and took it as a write-off, even though it was complete, and they'll never show it. You know, like I don't understand how that works. I don't understand how a TV show that's already produced can just be wiped off the face of the earth, and and that's it. And it just never gets seen.
Wow.
That's just been happening all across the industry on every streaming service.
It seems a lot like a lot of shows are just being left in limbo. Like Prodigy now is in limbo, The Orville's in limbo.
Yep.
I'm wondering, is it just like cost-cutting stuff that's going on that we're not being told about?
It is cost-cutting, yes.
Yep, that's what I think it is too.
Do you think the writer's strike has anything to do with this? Are the studios currently losing money because productions are being stopped, so they're cutting costs in other places?
I'm sure it's related. I don't know to what degree, but I'm sure yes. The writer's strike certainly is affecting the entire industry. We're not going to have content as fast as we were supposed to, and we'll feel it 6 months from now when we don't have shows. We don't have movies that were supposed to be produced. Everything got pushed back. And if the actors strike at the end of the month, like everybody's expecting to, things will probably get worse in that regard. For instance, San Diego Comic-Con now has lost Marvel. They've lost Universal. They've lost Netflix. All of those studios and streamers have pulled out of Comic-Con because they have no content to show.
Wow.
They have nothing to talk about.
Like, Marvel pulled out like 3 days ago, and now all the other studios and streamers are following suit. Like a couple others are still kind of hanging on. We don't know, for instance, if Paramount Plus is going to show anything from Star Trek like they did last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, on the upside, maybe people will actually be able to get tickets to Comic-Con.
There wouldn't be anything to see.
Right.
That's funny.
We got nothing. We got plenty of tickets. Here you go.
Come see each other, everybody.
Right.
Come on down to Comic-Con and check out other fans.
Right.
Walking around. Yeah.
That's good.
Boy, that's even more of a
crazy.
bummer than I thought. They are still going to finish season 2 as planned, right?
I believe
they're
so.
not stopping. They're not going to, or maybe they don't. Maybe the financing gets cut off, so maybe they're 95% done, and they can't finish that final 5% because why would Paramount still be paying them to finish it?
Unless that was in the contract to finish it.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
to it's finished, and then they're just not going to show it. But it makes no sense to me. All of these people who put out in so much work are not going to have this work shown. There's so many people who is far beyond the viewers. There's a lot of work that goes into this stuff, and not just voiceover or it's huge.
I don't think this is over. I think that Star Trek fans know how to save the show. I think we're all going to mobilize to save this show. I mean, come on, we got Janeway, we got Voyager A coming potentially, like all these Star Trek nuggets.
Speaking of which,
cancel.
Look what's trending right when you were saying that, Andre. Save Star Trek Prodigy.
Yes,
it's coming.
Gotta keep that
there's
going.
also Paramount Plus trending and a few other things, and obviously Star Trek Prodigy itself is trending. Seamus is trending. John, I don't know why, but we'll have to find out.
because SmackDown is on right now in the East Coast.
But what's Seamus doing?
So, so even though Ryan wants to blame the fans and just put it all on them, I think the fans actually could save Prodigy. So
I think we will. No, I think
Mhm.
what I do when I put the weight of something on somebody or ourselves It's in a way to empower us to also be the change. So if we didn't support it enough, and that's why it was canceled, that's great. That means we have the power to now give it the support that it deserves so that it will get picked up by some other entity or something. Because if it's something outside of that, like if they just hate the showrunners, which is impossible. Dave and Dan, or Dan and Kevin Hageman are like the two of the most wonderful humans ever. Aaron Walt, he's amazing. They're all just the best. But I'm just saying, like, if it was something like that, then maybe they would just cancel the show and they'd be like, we don't care. It's not about numbers. It's not about fans. You can beat down our doors as much as you want, you know, but I think that if fans can get 50 or 60,000 people to sign a petition for Legacy, people can get 30-something thousand to sign a petition for for the Captain Pike series at the time, then I think that I just can't imagine that this is the end of Prodigy. That just seems, there's just no way.
Yeah.
And I do think that we do have a collective responsibility as fans as well to support the show. I've seen too many people say, well, I'm not going to watch that because it's a kid's show, and it wouldn't even dream of giving it a chance because they deem it as a kid's show and not real Trek. But so I do think that we do have a collective responsibility in helping push Prodigy forward instead of,
Red alert. We've got Captain incoming message. We've got Aaron Waltke from Star Trek Prodigy in the live chat. He answers the question because we're just throwing shit up against a wall and guessing. And he's actually like, guys, why don't you just stop saying dumb stuff? And so he says, Paramount is paying us to finish it on the strong belief that we will be able to find a new home for it.
Wonderful.
Otherwise, they would stop production like Batgirl. Great. So it is being finished. It will be pitched. Hopefully, I mean, there's going to be a streaming service that's going to pick it up. It just depends on who. I mean, come on, there's somebody's going to pick it up. Why? How
Netflix,
could they not?
Amazon, somebody will.
How could they not?
Absolutely.
I mean,
there are so many
It's
of them
just
right now.
won some awards. It's
That's
so
right.
good.
It just did.
Yeah,
It's just
it just
won
did. You're right.
awards. It's just good product.
We got
It's got
Janeway, we
Kate
got the
Mulgrew.
Voyager.
Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
you guys
Come on,
get a hold of
Netflix.
yourselves. Yeah, and Aaron in the live chat, Aaron Waltke, thanks for saying that because we know that you probably can't say a lot. In fact, you tweeted something like that. Everybody, you can follow Aaron Waltke on Twitter @GoodAaron. So you know as soon as any information that can be shared will be shared. You could find it immediately by following Good Aaron on Twitter. Also, the Brothers Hageman is a good place to get that information. Also, the Prodigy Writers Room. That I'll be damned if the Prodigy Writers Room has to call it quits. They do pizza parties, you guys.
I know.
Nice. I have a feeling once they reshop it, somebody else it's gonna come back on Paramount Plus. This is probably just something that has to happen while they reshop it, and then it'll come back. Yeah.
How could it not? Yeah. How could it not? I hope, and again, this is me, I don't know anything about this stuff, but it does concern me when people say something to the effect of, hey, everybody, cancel all of your subscriptions to, Paramount Plus or to whatever else until the writer's strike is over. And I don't know enough about this to know if that helps or it hurts. But what if everybody canceling their subscriptions makes the studio say, well, we can't pay our rent anymore or whatever it is, we can't count our cigars anymore or whatever, I don't know. And so then they start having to cut shows off. I don't know if that's the case, but that's my worry when I see things like that. I'm like, I'd rather just support everyone and hope it works out. I don't know. Aaron Waltke in the live chat says, it is not dissimilar to how studios and networks used to work before the age of streaming. A studio produces and fronts the cost of a show, then goes out for a network purchase. Okay. Good. This, I feel like we need the weekend to sit this one out because
it's a huge bummer. It's a huge bummer. It really put a damper on the whole day.
Right.
Especially because it was never in limbo. It was going to be released at the end of this year. It wasn't like we can't wait to find out news about Prodigy. It was already in the works. I don't know. So Discovery's canceled. Picard is over. Prodigy is going to be moving over to Nickelodeon, as will we, or wherever it goes. We will follow. We will follow them.
So that means actually after Strange New Worlds ends, the only new Star Trek content we have that we can hopefully count on is Lower Decks at the end of the summer.
Yep.
Yeah, and I heard Lower Decks is going to be delayed until spring. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't hear anything at all. Like,
2029.
No.
John was looking at me like, I would have heard, man. You're full of shit. I would have heard.
I was just waiting for you to finish.
Yeah.
It's not what I
Don't
meant.
stop my heart today anymore, Ryan.
That is not what I meant.
Save us, Andre. What are your thoughts?
I think it's going to work out. I'm going to be an optimist here and say that just there's enough fans that love Prodigy. I think this negotiation and studio stuff is going to happen, and we will see this crew fly on.
Yes.
Who was the song that sang Albatross? Fly, that the chorus was "Fly On, Albatross." Corrosion of Conformity, right? Everybody in the live chat confirmed that. Corrosion of Conformity. Fly on, Albatross. Anyway.
Dr. Mohammed Noor. Dr. Mohammed Noor does remind us in the live chat that Star Trek Discovery Season 5 is still coming in 2024 on Paramount Plus.
Right.
This is true.
They should do it like release episodes like every third week to really drag it out for us. Just give us like 6 months of Discovery.
I'm with it. Let's do it. When does Starfleet Academy drop? That's a little bit later out, right? Like at least we get more 32nd century stuff. I love that century.
I mean, I don't know. I thought production on that was supposed to start at the end of the year, but writer's strike will push everything back. So
right.
Will we see it before the end of 2024, 2025? Who knows?
Probably Season not. 3 of Strange New Worlds 2 is going to be in limbo. I mean, theoretically,
that was supposed to start May 3rd.
Yep, right before the writer, or right after the writer strike ended up happening. So, but theoretically, as soon as the writer strike ends, they can get right back into it. What were you saying, Melissa?
I was going to say, Dr. Mohammed Noor says we need to find out if Janeway finds Chakotay.
Oh, no, he never does. She never does.
We're gonna, because otherwise we're just gonna like have Robert Beltran on this show, and we're gonna give him a script to read, and he's gonna be like, with his sultry, silky, smooth voice, gonna be like, Catherine, it's so good to finally see you. And then like Andre or someone could be like, thank you, Chakotay. And
thank you, Chakotay. It's very acceptable to see you again.
Oh my gosh!
My Janeway impersonation is perfect. I love her.
And she, you.
Yes.
Amazing.
I just need some more Voyager A. I mean, come on, like the crew. I don't know if there'll be another Protostar. I want to see that too, but the shuttle said Voyager A, and we know there's a Voyager B in canon. So I would love to see adventures of that ship with Admiral Janeway and those kids.
Yeah. And
by the way, our good pal Shar Schmidt couldn't make it in today, but she was emailing, and she said it was a bummer about about Prodigy and how she couldn't make it. But she made a good point. She's like, it's probably better that I'm not there because it's still so raw right now. So now I'm like, ooh, that would have been good TV to see her coming out with all raw. She's like, crying. I don't know. Would have been pretty crazy, but maybe she's right. She needs to sit on it for a moment. Kathy D says Robert Beltran ... and then the heart eyes emoji. I'm not sure what that means, but
somebody's got a crush.
who doesn't on Chakotay? John, do you need to, I know you might need to leave us at some point during this show. Do you need to hop off now or in a little bit?
No, I can hang out for a bit.
What a relief. All right. So now that we know you can stick around a little bit longer, can you please tell us anything else that you know regarding Paramount Plus, future streaming, Prodigy, anything that you know that maybe the public does not yet know, that you do such a great job of reporting on, by the way, on screenrant.com. I hope they know how much work you put in.
I hope so too.
So much work.
No, that is actually the bulk of it. I think we kind of covered all the beats of everything that we know. Obviously we're not inside the process like Aaron Walke is, and he's not allowed to say more than he's able to say. But yeah, I mean, just to sum it up, the hope is that Prodigy gets picked up by another service, so we can see season 2. Hopefully, we can see season 1. I mean, who knows if there can be a season 3 in any respect? But I mean, God, that would be amazing too. But yeah, it's really just a huge bummer. It's just a huge bummer to lose this show at this time when it's such an important show in terms of how it reached a younger generation, brought a younger generation to Star Trek, did such amazing, innovative episodes that are still at its core pure Star Trek.
And it's gorgeous.
And yeah, it's a
Beautiful.
gorgeous show. It's the most beautiful show. And
Yeah.
and obviously it's set up so much for season 2. Season 2 can literally go anywhere and do anything. And
yeah, and what I was thinking earlier was, okay, where would the ideal place? What's the perfect fit?
that's a good question.
What streaming service is the perfect fit to be the next home for Prodigy? And some of them you were actually mentioning. I definitely think Netflix has this type of show on their platform. Hulu, look, they've got the Orville, they've got similar type things. Tubi might be one. Disney Plus, although I don't think, I feel like Disney Plus kind of just has their own plans and they're just like, keep away everybody else. And plus, wouldn't that feel like we're kind of going, that would be, honestly, that would be like Chris Paul joining Stephen Curry on the Golden State Warriors. You know what I'm saying? Where it'd be like, wait,
bring it back to basketball.
what do you guys think? What streaming service do you think would be a good fit for it?
I mean, Prime Video has such a wide reach. I think that would be really great. Max also, I feel like Max is it still has the HBO sheen to it, and so Max has like that prestige. So like that show and that platform would I think will also kind of enhance the IP a bit.
But would they have do they have this type of show on there? This type of animated.
I'm sure they do. I haven't really looked at what kind of animation Max has or HBO Max had prior to that, but I'm certain they do. And they have all the DC stuff, which is both live action and animation.
Well, and Prime does also have a wide range of genres and different types of shows, from comedy shows to horror to everything. So see why that wouldn't work there.
Yeah.
What if they started their own streaming service called the Prodigy streaming service, and that's it? And then
take my money.
And then
I know
like all these little spin-offs and all that. Oh, that would be fun.
We can find out where Doll came from, where everyone came from, Gwen and Rock Talk and Murph.
Yeah, they're like, this guy doesn't know anything. That's not. You front me $1 billion.
Oh.
Sorry, what were you saying, Andre?
those origin stories, I mean, those were so beautiful, like seeing the Medusans hit the planet and the background story of Jankum Pog and how he saved his crew. I mean, they set up such potential for the next season. It's like for this not to come back would just be an utter tragedy. It's like for me, another show, Dark Matter, ended season 3 on a huge cliffhanger. And I hope that this isn't that. Like there's so much more story to tell. And I think by virtue we'll get it. Hopefully on Netflix or Amazon or any of the streaming services, it'd be primed to get it. They'd get a built-in fan base.
Just Rosie said, I'd rather have a Star Trek streaming service all its own. All Star Trek all the time. How cool would that be?
Sounds like you want to be on the Star Trek cruise. Everybody check out the Star Trek cruise. They have every channel is like Star Trek. It's so cool.
It's true.
Check it out. Their maybe 7th voyage will be in early spring of next year. So check that out. It's Star Trek the Cruise.com, I think. And they're great.
They are great.
I wonder if that means that Star Trek Prodigy will not have a presence at Star Trek Las Vegas or at the 57-year mission by Creation Entertainment in Las Vegas.
I don't know, because Creation runs that convention, right? Like it's
right.
not,
it's not official.
Yeah. So why wouldn't they?
I don't know. Maybe why do people do anything?
I mean, they
know.
have Oracle people.
What happens?
That's
to
true.
Be there, so
what happens to all the merchandise that Paramount Plus's Star Trek store sells? You know, like do they yank the Prodigy stuff? Because Prodigy has cool merch.
A lot of people might make the joke, "What merch?" Because some people were actually saying that Prodigy needed more merchandise, that it's like ripe for great merchandise, but that Paramount wasn't really capitalizing on it as much as a lot of people thought they should. And who knows why that is? Maybe things were in the works that we don't know about, but you're right. This thing is ripe for tons of merchandising. It's a cash cow, I would think.
Totally.
I need a Murph plushie. I just need a Murph plushie in my life.
They have those, right? At least they were getting them out in New York somewhere at some premiere.
Somewhere.
What was that event? Andre. I was gonna say, in the live chat, sci-fi guy agrees with you. I was like, wait, that is you. about dark matter. You're two-timing us. Faith Howell says, we have all been burned by Firefly. I am not willing to live that life again. We must finish Prodigy. Seriously, that
still stings.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh my God.
What about a Firefly animated series? What if they could just pick up? They could just, like what Babylon 5 did, pick up after season 1 of Firefly and just go from there, because the voiceovers, they could be as old and in their pajamas as they want when they're doing the voiceover.
That's what I want to see them do.
The problem with that, though, I loved Firefly 20 years ago. I thought it was great. The problem with that, though, is Joss Whedon.
Oh, right.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't need to elaborate. I just have to say.
Yes.
I guess that's why we should just go right back to talking about Prodigy. Just move on. Let's all take a sip from our beverage and let that conversation die.
Palate cleanse.
Point taken. Look. But you bring up a really good point about the animated part, because I love that Prodigy did that, because you can literally bring back anybody. I mean, if Jonathan Archer's still alive by then, I doubt it, but I mean, even he could come back. And so I would love to see Paramount do more with the animated genre and medium, because you could tell a story, do a short film about Enterprise in the Romulan War with all the characters. And even though all the actors are older, they could still play themselves animated. It's kind of like what Star Wars did with Clone Wars. I would love to see, or you could bring back Sulu in the Excelsior and tell an awesome tale with animation, and do an anthology series with Star Trek, just telling so many characters. So I love that Star Trek has embraced the animated genre with Prodigy, because we get those possibilities.
Yep.
I hope this is not a signal of where things are going with Paramount Plus, because we were really kind of skyrocketing for a while, where they're like Discovery, and then it's Discovery and Picard, and then it's Discovery and Picard and Lower Decks, and then it's and Prodigy, and then they were kept every 2 weeks they're saying, and don't forget we got a movie coming. We'd be like, yay, movie, and then it would die, and they'd be like, and we got a movie, and it would just never happen. But now they've also added Strange New Worlds has entered the chat. Then they've got Section 31 movie that they've announced.
Yeah.
They've got a Starfleet Academy series that they've announced. But they announced these things. That's the plan. Doesn't mean plans don't change. Clearly, plans do change.
Correct.
Discovery was not planned to only go 5 seasons. Prodigy was not planned to stop before season 2 came out. So maybe this is a hint that things are changing. Maybe something's happening at Paramount where they're losing money, or they're going in a different direction. I don't know. Do you know anything about that, John? Because I'm kind of worried.
2022, as you brought up, 2022 was magical. We didn't. I don't know if we really understood how good we had it with 5 shows on in the same year, where every
51
Thursday,
episodes.
Yeah. Every Thursday there was a new Star Trek episode. That was incredible. But in terms of changes at not just the Paramount Plus, the streaming bubble burst. It's just what happened. Hello, my dog is very loud.
Is it a puppy? Oh,
puppy.
will he come on camera?
He wants to eat.
He doesn't know you, Melissa.
I want to see the puppy.
Hold on. He's very loud. I'll be right back.
Oh, things were just getting good too.
Oh. Mr. Puppy. I will say that
he is the best I've ever seen at telling time. He knows exactly when it's like 6 o'clock and it's time to eat.
Even though it's the second longest day of the year. So time is very different. But yeah, John, do you know anything about where the streaming services are going? You said the bubble burst. What does that mean? It doesn't sound good.
Well, over the last few years, every studio, every streaming service bet hard on streaming. Especially during the pandemic. The pandemic changed a lot of things. It changed how movie going. It changed entertainment. It changed how people consume things. It changed how people shop. It changed how people lived. And so in 2020, when we were all sitting at home, with nothing to do but watch Netflix, all the streaming services said, "Hey, this is where everything is going," and lots of spending was made on more content, and they gradually found out that streaming isn't as profitable as they thought it was, or they imagined it might be. And so that's kind of what's happening now. Just like the bottom fell out. So every studio, every streaming service, this is very layman, but they're just losing money. And so that's part of why the writers are striking, because of residuals, of the lack of residuals over streaming. It's a very, very complicated mess, and I don't fully understand it. But at the same time, it's quite evident just looking at how all the streaming services are happening, how all the studios, movies are being made, and also how quickly, let's say, a movie can be released in theaters and then all of a sudden end up on a streaming service like 3 weeks later, like STAC, all of a sudden it's available at home. The projection of how traditionally something like a movie was supposed to make money, or a TV show was supposed to make money, has just flown out the window. So just getting a handle on the financials of how to make anything profitable has become very, very difficult, just all across the industry.
Which begs the question, where do we go from here? Because obviously streaming isn't going to go anywhere. I mean, cable is dead. And so where do we go from here? How do we get content out to people without the streaming services? And it seems counterintuitive to pull the productions that you've already spent money on from your
that's
lineup.
Why you just got to go to youtube.com/virtualtrekcon. That's where all the good stuff is.
Ryan is cranking out that content.
But how much does that cost? I can't afford all of these different. It's free.
If you want to watch the
Not
first
the
episode
best
of
business
everything
model,
we've ever
but
made, it's on Wednesday nights.
yeah, not an ideal business model, but it's free. Oh, which brings me to a good point. Everybody at home, please make sure to like this video. Make sure to subscribe to this channel, because since this is free, the way you can support this is by liking the video, subscribing to this channel, and when this video is over, hit the refresh button and leave a nice comment, because on live videos, in order to leave a comment, it needs to be refreshed once it's over. Also, go ahead and follow us on social media at Virtual TrekCon. Retweet our stuff. Follow everybody you see here on social media. I mean, this is free. And hey, the least you could do is just click some buttons for us. And those of you saying that's not the least I can do, this is the least I can do. You're right. You got me. You're right. But please do it anyway. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we've got a question in the live chat. It's a poll. The question is, what's the best streaming service for Prodigy going forward? CBS All Access. No, it's the options are Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, or Disney Plus. Every time I say Amazon Prime, I think of Transformers, though.
Robots in disguise.
Yeah. So everybody make your votes there, because that's a fun one. Actually, we'll just go ahead and end that poll. And the answers are 17% said it's Disney, bro. 17% also said it's Hulu, dude. 25% said, nah, it's Netflix, brah. And 40% said Amazon, homie. So maybe that's the one. I think we've decided. Okay, Amazon.
Yeah, the ball's in your court.
Amazon. Pick it up.
Jeff Bezos, you already sent Shatner to space.
Heck.
Yeah, I would make my own Star Trek series if I was him, or fund it. I mean, gosh, if I had more money than most of the planet, I would have so much science fiction. And he loves science fiction, so hopefully it finds a home on Prime.
Whoa.
Bezos does?
Yep, he's a big,
cool.
yeah, he was a big reason why The Expanse went to Prime after it was canceled from Sci-Fi. So like they pushed, and they had a meeting with Bezos, and he was a big science fiction person, and he picked it up.
Good job.
Yeah,
That was a great show.
Oh, I love that show. Yeah, one of my favorites, Martian.
So Dr. Muhammad Noor in the live chat says, Netflix will have the new Avatar: The Last Airbender series. So good to pair that with Prodigy. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good fit. Muhammad famously said that Avatar: The Last Airbender is a show for babies.
Muhammad did?
I don't remember who said it. I think it was Muhammad. No, he loves the show.
Like an MKR line.
It was a Michael Kenyon Rosenberg line, and I will forever cherish that line because it cracks me up.
It's a show for babies. It's so funny when he says that.
Well, I don't know. Muhammad in the live chat in all capital letters said, I did not say that. Hey, hang on, Andre. You're dropping news bombs in the live chat. You'll be launching your YouTube channel with your original sci-fi.
Yep. So just behind the scenes, I'm a 3D artist, so I'm working on an original sci-fi project. Things are coming along, so I'll jump that channel in when that comes in. Yeah. Somebody asked if they could find me on YouTube. I'm on Twitter for now, but YouTube is coming.
Yay!
Thanks.
Yep.
That's
Good job,
awesome.
man. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
That is cool. So how far along is it? I know you've been working on it for a while, and you've been making a lot of headway and making some awesome ships.
Yeah, I got multiple ships designed and done. I'm animating now. It's going to be in CGI. So just getting some paperwork done, and I'll be ready to release it. So just doing everything by the book. But yeah, that's pretty much all I do up here in Vegas, since we don't have Star Trek parties here.
You're that close to done?
Yeah, well, like as far as like getting the animation and everything out, something to show people. Yeah, I've got multiple. I'll show you after the call. I've got multiple ships like done.
Ooh.
So yeah,
Awesome.
it'll be cool.
I'll pretend like we're not live anymore, and I'll be like, okay, show us now, Andre. And then everybody will get a good look at it.
Yep.
Matt Boardman, who, by the way, created this cool graphic behind us. And by that, I mean the amalgamation of the Prodigy graphic and the Star Trek and Chill one, not
It's
every
awesome.
little cartoon character there. He says that he loved The Last Airbender. Andre, you seem like you're a fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I actually don't. I've only watched a few of those shows. I don't watch much anime. Yeah, but I'm open. Everything I did see, I liked.
What about you, John?
I've never seen Avatar: The Last Airbender. I've seen Avatar, the James Cameron movie. But,
Yes. Love
Melissa, big Avatar fan?
I refer to John Orquiola's answer. I have not seen any of the Avatar: Last Airbender, and I have seen the first James Cameron Avatar movie. Not
the second one's even better.
Oh, is it?
I did not like the first one, to be honest with you, but I thought the second one was amazing.
Oh. You didn't like the first Avatar, or when it was made the first time, called
Fern Gully.
Dances with Wolves or whatever? I mean, that story's been done a million times, but yeah, it was amazing. I didn't see the second one. You guys are making Muhammad very, very sad about not having seen Avatar. Let's do a poll about that one.
How sad is Muhammad? Very sad. Very, very sad.
Zach Scully also says Avatar: The Last Airbender was great. So we're missing something.
I think I saw a few minutes of the M. Night Shyamalan, The Last Airbender, which was not good, if I remember.
Oh, I don't think I saw that one either. The only airbending I've seen was in that movie that we did. And I'm blanking. Blade of Honor.
Oh, right. I was like, who are you looking at right now? I can't tell. When you say that movie that we did, there's three of us going like,
I know.
That Homer Simpson, like, I think she's talking to you.
Your brain is going, and then suddenly it farts on the thing that you need to bring up.
Speaking of airbending, that was Blade of Honor. I was an executive producer on that one, as well as an actor, starring Mr. Aaron Eisenberg, of course, who was so cool. He was playing like a Jedi type character. It was like a role that he was born to do, alongside his cohort, Tim Russ, who was also one of these Jedi type people. It was such a great cast. We also had Richard Hatch. This was Richard Hatch's final production. It was a good time. It was definitely.
Is this movie available on a streaming service or some sort of is there some way to see it?
I feel bad that I don't remember where it is anymore, because it was a few years ago. Let me check. Talk amongst yourselves.
I've never seen it. Oh no, that's not true. I saw this, went to a screening with Aaron to see it, but I don't know where it's available.
How long ago was
Amazon
it?
Prime.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well,
Wow.
Amazon Prime has everything, including
That's why I
hopefully
love them.
Prodigy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Come on, pick it up, Amazon Prime. Yes.
It sure is right there. I love it. Oh,
I'm
there
gonna
he
watch
is.
this. I'm 100% going to watch this.
Oh, that was Tim Russ's daughter. There's Aaron.
Yay.
James Kyson of Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, there's Never
Love those
went
uniforms.
much beyond that. There's Aaron, of course. Richard Hatch.
Wow.
Oh, what a class act he was.
Fun
So
thing
wonderful.
about actually, let's see this a little interesting thing about these uniforms. If I remember correctly, we got these from a place in North Hollywood. There's Tim Russ. That it was like the Galaxy Quest uniforms.
Ah,
Repurposed.
Nice.
Yeah.
oh, see, he was doing some airbending.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Anyway. So everybody go check that out if you'd like. Hey, no pressure. but yeah, that's a good one. Good memory. Melissa, you were actually in that, if I remember correctly. I do remember you in there, and you wore those uniforms. You were part of like the main crew on that. Where did we shoot that? North Hollywood too. Van Nuys, North Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah, Aaron drove, so I can't remember.
Yeah. Anyway, that was written and directed by Mr. Mark Edward Lewis. He also did the editing there. Man, that guy is an incredible editor slash music composer, right? So he would edit, and he would make the music like match it perfectly, which was definitely his bread and butter. He made everything look like it was a freaking music video. It was amazing.
Great ear. Yeah.
Yeah. So Avatar: The Last Airbender, everybody's dying to know what the answer is. At the end of this poll, the question is, have you seen Avatar: The Last Airbender? 43% said yes, 56% said no, and 1% got lost in the YouTube ether. YouTube never has.
So strange.
It never totals 100%. So
that 1% saw the James Cameron Avatar.
Even if you're like, even if you have 10 people, you could have 100 people answering the question, and it'll be like 50 people answered yes, 50 people answered no. You hit end, it'll be like 50 and 49%. You're like, why are you lying, YouTube? I know. I saw.
Whose vote are you not counting?
Yeah. Yeah. What's going on here? Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
I feel like there's some Arizona jokes hopping around in there somewhere. All right. Rose Kirby says, hey, peeps, hoping to catch up with you on Sunday. To everyone else, good night to you, sweet dreams. Have a chill weekend, she says.
Star Trek and chill. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's out in the UK.
Bye, Rose.
Well, let's any final thoughts on Prodigy before we close the book on that?
I really want
just gonna keep
really want to see season 2. I really want it now.
I
I wanted to have more than I
too.
did before.
Yes. Yeah.
We should blow up our Twitters until they bring it back and just post all kinds of Prodigy positivity. And I think we're going to see it again. I just need Voyager A. I need more Voyager.
Yeah. We need to keep it trending on Twitter.
Yep.
For Schnizzle.
Or Schnizzle.
I'm almost positive that it's gonna find a home. It just feels like there's no way they wouldn't. It's gonna be a completed product that has a built-in fan base.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What streaming service is not going to pick it up? I mean, that's
right.
And some of these streaming services, you never know. Some of them might be like kind of on the down low. It might be a low key way for them to like stick it to Paramount and be like, all right, we got your Star Trek show. Ha ha. Or, you never know, like a rival gang or something might, that's definitely
true.
So I don't think we've seen the end of it. I would be shocked. But I do feel the hurt that the cast and crew of Prodigy must feel, because it kind of might feel like, I don't want to say like a betrayal, but like they don't want to go to Netflix. They're like, we have a home. It's, Nickelodeon and Paramount. They've spent all their time and effort promoting Paramount. Paramount promoted them. It's like a family. It's like a team. And now they're kicked out on their bun.
Yeah.
But
I have to say, I honestly didn't think I would love it as much as I do, because I was kind of going into it thinking, oh, this is going to be a kid show. But gosh, I'm so glad I was proven wrong. I'm so glad I was proven wrong. It's so good. It's so well made, and the storytelling is wonderful, and the character development is everything that I look for in any show. Any show, doesn't
Who's
matter
your favorite
what
character?
It changes so much. I really love Rock Talk and I really love Gwyn, but Jenkum Pog is so charming, and so is Murph. And and I have to say that I love Janeway more in Prodigy than I did in Voyager. I found a more
which
bigger,
Janeway?
Well, I know the hologram better than I do the actual Admiral Janeway, so I would say her. But yeah, I have such an appreciation for Janeway that I didn't have before, or a bigger appreciation, I should say.
So I still have my my work Discord open, and I just got emailed a link to TV Line where there's a quote from executive producer Aaron J. Walke. And he said, well, it says here, he shared on Twitter.
And they're quoting him from our live chat right now.
Oh, that would be funny.
That would be epic. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What's the quote say?
The quote says, apparently this is something he's tweeted already, but it says, I have noticed some misleading headlines, so all I can do is reiterate that we are completing season 2 on schedule and seeking a new home.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, so season 2 will be completed, in case there's any confusion about that.
I was a convert too for the show. I was wondering, like, how's it all going to tie together? It was tied together so marvelously. And then those background stories, I mean, that was quintessential Trek. I mean, I was like, so I liked the show in the beginning. It's like, I love that it looks beautiful. Where's it going? And it went. And it really gave depth and amazingness to the characters. I think good examples of writing, for how to really get your audience to care about the plight of these characters. So I really hope we get to see more of their stories. And the fact that they're just bringing in all these Trek nuggets, like we saw the Enterprise E, we saw the Defiant, they could literally have anything go on, tell totally new stories in canon. Like, we need this to keep going. Well, I do. Yep.
Now, I just thought of something before we go. I'm not the guy to lead a charge, but I will give a piece of advice on this charge. Don't be mad at Paramount.
Yep.
Don't attack Paramount. Don't blame Paramount. Don't middle finger Paramount. Don't go at it with negativity. Go at it with enthusiasm and positivity and love for the show. And I'll tell you why, because first of all, it's just bad practice. But secondly, think about it. If you're another streaming service and you're thinking about picking them up, and all you see is that their fans are bad-mouthing the previous streaming service, you're going to think twice. You're going to be like, ooh, their fans seem toxic. They seem sour. They might turn on us. So be the best fans out there, support the show, and be the kind of fans that are so good and so supportive that if other streaming services happen to see what you're tweeting and what you're doing, they go, wow, we want those fans coming over to our streaming service. Is what I would counsel.
Totally.
And those actually are the best of the Star Trek fans. This is a very positive, very enthusiastic fan base who has a 50-year history of saving their shows.
Right.
And they are generally, because the vast majority of fans actually believes in what Star Trek stands for. The positivity, optimism, the idealism, the inclusiveness of Star Trek. Just to reiterate what Ryan says, absolutely approach this with the hope that Prodigy will be treated better than it just has been today, and will find a home that it deserves, so it can be seen by its fans, and maybe it can even continue after that.
Great. Yeah, because I'll tell you that my first reaction was like, what the? I was like, boy. I'm ready to battle. Boy, I am going to grab Gimli's axe and we're going to handle this thing and whatever it is. But hey, we'll get Prodigy back on the air. and we will make sure that the amazing people behind Prodigy continue to have work. The people like Aaron J. Waltke, the people like the Hageman Bros, the people like Bonnie Gordon, shout out to her, all of the people that made Prodigy season 1 so amazing and season 2 sure to be amazing. Let's make sure they get work for 10 seasons on a different platform. And you never know, season 2 might do really well. 2 years from now, Paramount Plus picks them back up for season 3 and 4. I mean, that kind of stuff does happen. I mean, things move back and forth. It'll probably start happening a lot more often right now because streaming it's kind of like the .com thing where it was building, it went nuts, and then there was the .com burst, everything fell apart, but then things kind of settled from there. You know, that's kind of where we are right now, I think.
And looking at it optimistically, you know, since Paramount Plus is supposed to be the home of all Star Trek, at some point I would think Prodigy will come back home.
Yes.
Yes. It's like lost in the Delta Quadrant right now, but they'll make it back home to the channel.
Yes. Yeah.
This is the crew that knows how to do it.
Yep. If you want an allegory, it's that one. Yep.
Aaron Waltke in the live chat says, choose hope, embrace joy. We do want to thank you, Aaron, for hopping in, because I know that your phone is blowing up right now. You need to charge it. Just keep that thing plugged in right now. You got 1 million emails. You got 50 questions coming at you for every one answer. But we really appreciate you hopping on our live chat just to give us a couple pieces of information so that we don't lead ourselves astray, which is what fans do. First thing we do, we go, what? And then we go off in the totally different direction. So thank you, Aaron, for popping in and be like, no, keep it right here. This is the reasonable place to be.
Yeah. And Aaron, in case you need a reminder, we love the show. We totally support the show. We support you. We support the Hageman brothers. We support this vision of Star Trek that you guys are building.
Love it.
Absolutely.
And we want more of it. We want it to continue. We want you guys to find a home.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Look at me. I'm the biggest curmudgeon out there. I don't even like people. I just like animals. And I think this show and those people are amazing. Melissa's even worse. She's even more of a curmudgeon. She's just caught, every text you get from her is like, these fucking people, whatever it is. And she loves Prodigy.
I love Prodigy. I love Prodigy. And yes, Aaron Walke, thank you for bringing us the content that you have and the contributions you and everybody at Prodigy have made to Star Trek, because it's huge. It's a huge contribution.
And just to close that out, Andre Kottman here, the Gemini that he is the biggest talker I know. And I've never heard him. Every single thing between me and Andre, we're like publicly condemning rude behavior and shit. But between us, we're like, oh, did you see what she was wearing? And he's never said a bad word about Prodigy ever. It might be the only entity he's never badmouthed to my knowledge.
And I love Starships. You are giving us so many nuggets of awesome canon stuff. Like when I see the stuff that you're throwing in about the Voyager A and about just the different starships, my eyes exploded. Just loving it. Keep doing what you're doing. Your writing is wonderful. The show is wonderful. I think I know we're going to get more.
All right.
I pretty much spent this whole podcast, by the way, angled, just so you just kind of.
I saw that. It looked really good.
You had this logo on the screen.
Good job. That's awesome.
Yo.
There he is.
There we are. Look at this.
Nice.
There we go.
Wearing a
It's just
Prodigy
so
ascot.
All
right.
I love Aaron Walke's response. Thanks, everyone. Live logs and proper.
Perfect. So on our way out, everybody, very quickly, let's talk about this week. Yesterday on the 7th Rule YouTube channel, we released our review of Season 2, Episode 2 of Strange New Worlds. It was Ad Astra per Aspera. I think it's Aspera, not Aspera. With special guest Bernadette Croft, who is the costume designer for Strange New World. She also worked
We
on
love her.
Discovery. She's freaking amazing. We've been raving
Amazing.
about her for so long. It's about damn time. We might as well just get her on the show and tell her in person how much we appreciate her. So check that out. That is currently available on the Seventh Rule YouTube channel. Also on Sunday, this coming Sunday on the Seventh Rule YouTube channel at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern time, we have our season 1 special review of The Next Generation. That's Strzok Lofton, myself, special guest Denise Crosby returns to the show to talk all
Love her.
about. She's like, you guys can talk about the last 3 episodes without me. I don't give a shit about those. I'm in the first 23. So we that's at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern time on Sunday, this coming Sunday on the Seventh Rule YouTube channel. Then on Monday, what's the Seventh Rule releasing on Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific? Oh, there's also going to be a Deep Space Nine deep dive right after that Next Generation review on Sunday. So check that out. Let's see. So on Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific. Oh, you don't want to miss this one. 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time, this coming Monday. That's like the 28th or 20. Yeah, it's 26th. We've got our full review of The Next Generation Skin of Evil with Denise Crosby pulling no punches. Because we got an hour. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about what the happened. And
Yeah.
she's going to tell.
Oh my
She's no
God.
shrinking violet. She'll tell us.
I
She
love
keeps
that.
it real.
I love that.
A little
I
too
love
real.
her.
Scary. Hate to be on the receiving end of that. So then on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, that is 8 p.m. Eastern time on this channel, the Virtual TrekCon channel, we will have the main viewer. It is our Star Trek and sci-fi news show live. Check that out. Do not forget, walk, don't run. I don't know if that works. Also every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern time, Falling Tower releases our Watch the First podcast. This past Wednesday, we're doing currently Disney spinoff month, all for the month of June. This past Wednesday, we had, what was the show, Dr. Nor? Do you remember? Oh, it was Wolverine and the X-Men with actor Desmond Heck. And next Wednesday, we have the new Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, so
with
cute.
with the biggest, apparently, I had no idea, Winnie the Pooh fan ever, actor Josh Sussman. You know him from Glee and a bunch of other cool shows like Superstore.
Cool.
So that's next Wednesday. Anyway, that's it. Andre Kottman, can you please tell everybody where they can find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at the Sci-Fi Dre, and you can also find my artwork at artstation.com, Sci-Fi Dre.
What about you, John Orchiola?
Well, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Back of the Head, and my work is at screenrant.com, Star Trek.
Awesome.
Ooh.
You cover Star Trek better than anybody, by the way, I'll have you know.
Thank you. Thank you. I tried.
What about you, Melissa Longo? Your thoughts?
Yes, I agree. You bring up some interesting topics that may not ordinarily get discussed, and I love them. Like Klingons. And,
Speaking of
on
disgust,
Sunday, I'll have something really fun about Nog.
Really?
That ties into Strange New Worlds. That's Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 a.m. Pacific.
that's when the article drops. Very cool. Right
Can't
after
wait.
the
Amazing.
Seventh Rule review. So everybody check
6:30
that out.
a.m.
You can read it
Oh.
while you have your Sunday coffee
Cocoa Puffs.
and Cocoa Puffs.
Anyway, Melissa, you were talking about things that have been discussed. Has anything did anything today disgust you? Just kidding.
We won't
What?
go there.
I know.
Um,
I know.
But you can find me on social media at Melissa Longo, Malissa Longo, and theintrovertedrepublic.com. I just got this new shirt in
Oh shit.
the mail.
Cool.
Yes, I did draw it. And so it's the new unofficial, the seventh rule shirt. So both Sirach Lofton and Ryan T. Husk are on the front. And some woman with big ears is on the back that says keep your ears open. So you can get that on at the Walking Art Made by Melissa page on the 7th at theintrovertedrepublic.com.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also find me at Patreon, Walking Art Made by Melissa. There is a story going on. Audiobook version has just been released, the first chapter. So lots going on.
Fantastic. Entrepreneurial. Everybody, this is a part of the deal. Melissa's very, what's the word, modest, but that shirt that she designed there with myself, Sirach on it, and her on the back, every year, if you buy that, every year she will come to your house and slowly add wrinkles to us for like the next few decades. Just very, very start adding some bags on the eyes, some crow's feet, just bit by bit.
Both beautiful people, though.
Yeah, good song, Marilyn Manson. So, and everybody, you can find me, send all your hate mail to at Ryan TG Husk on Twitter. That's at Ryan TG Husk, or just virtual TrekCon, the seventh rule, or Falling Tower on your favorite social media, especially YouTube. Here's the key. Over the weekend, people drop bad news at the end on Fridays. So that may be why you heard this news on Friday. What that means is people are going to be banging the drum, but ain't nobody going to be hearing it because nobody's at work. They're gone for the weekend. So you can bang the drum all you want this weekend. But remember, Monday morning hits. That's when you got to redouble your efforts because they're counting on, hey, I want to go camping. And then you guys are banging on the drums for 2 days. And then on Monday, you're tired and you're like, let's talk about that submarine again or whatever it is. But no, Monday morning is Prodigy talk. Anyway, that's it. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, BL, Chris Marshall, Just Rosie, the Matt Boardman, Kathy D, David Gregory, who had an amazing time with Linda Anderegg over the last few days.
That was cool. See the pictures. I loved it.
Homemade key lime pie. You better bring that to STLV.
Yes.
Aaron Mayborello, everybody else, Glenn Iverson, Portia, thank you all so much. Melanie Jean Mayfield for joining in the fun. We appreciate all of you. Scott Jensen, Mr. Aaron Walke, and everybody at Prodigy. We are with you. You are not in this fight alone.
Right here.
We're with you all the way. It's going to happen. We will see you all soon. And until then, everybody, have a chill weekend. You've earned it, except for when you're tweeting about Prodigy.